What's good, everybody? I hope you guys are doing well. Hopefully, I had a great trading week on my part. I did actually take two losses, and one straight is still going on. Still don't believe it's gonna hit my take profit, but let's see what's gonna happen. So the first trade that I took was Euro JPY, and my fundamental bias behind the trade was the euro remains supported by a favorable rate differential and a caution Europe central bank regarding rate hikes. Okay, rate cuts. Okay, limiting pressure, setting pressure. At the same time, the dollar was dropping, so euro capitalizing for me. The yen suffered from probably Bank of Japan saying that they would intervene in the market and did not. So traders were not expecting strength from the Japanese yen, which made it become weaker. So I did enter here when I saw a 30-minute bullish engulfing that did actually break the structure. I entered my stop loss under and price went in my favor. On Wednesday, unfortunately, Euro core CPI uh, inflation data came up lower than expected, which means that regardless of the fact that the Euro Central Bank will probably rate the hike the rates, if the data doesn't follow, they're probably not going to do it. So that actually made this trade drop, and it came all the way down. It hit my stop loss. I took a loss. I should have exited right here, but next time I'm gonna learn from my mistakes. The second trade I took was AUDUSD. I did enter right down here. Okay, but at a certain period during the nights, when I woke up, I realized that the United States had actually bombed Iran, some Iranian military site, because they actually bombed Iran did actually bomb a cargo ship in the Strait of Hormuz. So that made the risk environment change. We had risk aversion, AUSD drop, and hit my stop loss. But right here, I had another entry because at a certain point, Trump said that the ceasefire is dead, but still, the Iranian team came up to him looking for a deal. So that's pretty much risk on. So I entered the trade. And the RBA, by the way, did actually came up hawkish on their last speech. The trade that I'm still in is a USD CHF. I did enter right down here. At this point, I think that's when United States actually bombed Iran, so it created a risk-off environment. The dollar capitalized from it, came up higher, and in this level right here, I think Trump said that they will probably get a deal, and the Iranian team reached out to him looking for an agreement. So let's see what happens, and yeah. So these are the setups that I'm looking forward to take next week. We had CAT JPY, the first setup. First of all, like I said, the Japanese yen is not, Japanese yen might be strong, but guess what? The Bank of Japan did not intervene, so we should not expecting Japanese yen to strengthen. And if you go on a risk on environment, the Japanese yen used to soften. So the Japanese yen will probably drop. The Canadian dollar will profit from the uh, will probably benefit from the rising oil prices, which actually happened because of the United States bombing Iran. So the Canadian dollar will go up. And also, last week we had great Canadian data. It's not going to change much from the Bank of Canada, but still, it's pretty bullish. So CAT JPY, I'll be looking for longs. AUDCHF, probably the same thing, but wait for a steeper pullback because we had this great move, which is really nice. But guess what? We need a pullback, and also the Australian dollar will probably weaken a little bit on Wednesday or Thursday. Probably give us much more move because next week we have really important news related to the dollar. We have dollar inflation data, which is expected to come up, and also if dollar inflation data comes up lower than previously, that means that the inflation is decreasing and there will probably be less rate hikes. So the market is probably gonna short the dollar. And when the dollar drops, what happens if you are in a risk on environment? Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar capitalize from it. On the New Zealand dollar part, I'm actually bearish. I'm not gonna be looking for New Zealand dollar longs because I think that the RBNZ move was is already priced in. The move did actually happen. All I'm waiting for this week is probably a pullback from the New Zealand dollar and a rally from the Australian dollar. She's completely the opposite. CHFJPY, we did actually see that the price dropped lower and came lower than the area of interest. So we are actually under the support level. If this price this level actually holds as a support level, we'll probably see um, sales for CHLJPY. If we come back, retest this level and take sales. But we never know because we are in a risk off and risk on environment. A little bit of a neutral environment right now because we don't know if we are going to have a deal and we don't know if Trump is going to bomb Iran again. Because Trump did actually tweet on his True Social account that if Iran tries to assassinate him, he's probably going to drop bombs on Iran. And the last trade is CAT CHF. If we go in a risk on environment, like I said, Canadian dollar will profit from the rising oil prices and the previous Canadian data, which came up higher than previously, and also the Swiss franc will not capitalize. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me and pay attention to the fundamentals. It's the more important part right now because either you are a technical trader, I don't know what kind of strategy you use, you should pay attention to the fundamentals. For example, if you look at my areas you long, I took the right trade, but guess what? All of a sudden, Trump dropped bombs on Iran, and then boom, he went on a risk-off environment, and then boom, price did actually hit my stop loss. That's not something I could understand if I did not look at the fundamentals. So if you want to take trades, you have to look at the fundamentals, either you like it or not. Those are the major causes of all these like weird moves you see in the markets. Okay. Hopefully, I have a great trading week.